All right, welcome everybody. We have a Sunday night stream. I've been doing these lately. They seem to do pretty well, and I just kind of go over what I'm going to be talking about on the show, at least on the Monday show, sometimes later in the week. And today, I need to go through all the voicemails that came in over the weekend. Also, maybe you guys can help me pick which ones will make it onto the show. I'm sort of scared to reveal how small the percentage of usable voicemails is. Most of them are completely unusable. Sometimes people will call in 6, 7, 8, 9 times in a row using the full 3 minutes that it's allowed, and it's a disaster. So I don't know if it's to my advantage. Maybe this will show people how we evaluate voicemails, and maybe it'll be useful for leaving better voicemails in the future. But maybe there is some way in which this will be embarrassing. I don't know. And I've got a bunch of different videos and things to show you. So let me get my headphones on here. And of course, the requisite Windows sounds, always a necessity there. Hope everybody's been having a good weekend. We are live on Twitch and on YouTube. Over on YouTube, I am always glad to take questions via Super Chat, and you can send those in, and they will pop up, and it will really be an amazing thing, is my prediction. Over on Twitch, make sure to include any questions or comments with your Twitch Prime subscriptions or whatever. People asking why live is in the title. That's for YouTube. Just so that it's clear over there that we are actually live. So one of the interesting things that's going on, and I may take phone calls. If we get 15 new members on the website, we may take phone calls. That's always available, always on the table, up to you, not mandatory, completely and totally up to you. Okay, let's get right into it. Oh, first of all, a piece of content came from, let me see where it is. So last stream, we were listening to voicemails and we came across what we dubbed hillbilly voicemail, and we were able to turn that into a video with subtitles, and it's pretty funny. So you guys were sort of the source of this because this came up while I was streaming last time. Take a listen to what we got out of it.
Yeah, hey, David Packman, you think that it's so damn bad living in the United States from what Trump's doing. Maybe you ought to leave the sucker alone. Pick up your shit, move your ass to Iran so you can kiss their asses. What do you think of that shit? Get her done, buddy. Bye.
Yeah, anyway, so nearly 50,000 views just on Twitter. And then I posted it to our YouTube page. I think it probably got another similar number of views there. I posted it to my Instagram. It got another 10,000. I mean, just a random little voicemail that ended up getting, probably 100,000 views across all of the different platforms. So very exciting stuff. And we will get to voicemails very, very soon. Christopher Hatch says via Super Chat, do you ever listen to Boston's WBZ 1030, Dan Ria? I have no idea who that is. I have not listened to broadcast radio for years. I couldn't tell you who's doing what or anything like it. So no, Christopher, I have not listened to that. I basically listen to music on Sirius XM, and that is it. Thanks to Arzim Koi for subscribing with Twitch Prime over on Twitch. All right, so we've got really interesting stuff going on where corporate media and Trump are both panicking because Bernie Sanders, whose name was misspelled as Bernie Sander during a recent MSNBC segment, is polling first in the Des Moines Register Iowa poll. Now, this is what matters about this, okay? Polls go up, polls go down. National polls, state polls, things come and go. We're now 3 weeks from the Iowa caucuses. And at this point in time, historically, the important poll, the gold standard poll, the poll we look at to say, what is the next step and how is that step looking? It's the Des Moines Register Iowa poll during January. This is what you look at. It's a very important poll. And in that poll, Bernie Sanders is now winning. He is at 20%. Elizabeth Warren is at 17%. Pete Buttigieg is at 16%. Joe Biden is at 15%. As you see, Tool C very, very low. I know that upsets a lot of people in the audience. Amy Klobuchar at 6%. That upsets a lot of people in the audience as well for how high it is. Whatever. These are the numbers. And all of a sudden, Trump's tweeting about Bernie, and he seems very scared, and we'll get to that in a second. People are texting me, which I apologize for. There we go. We're going to get to Trump in a second, but MSNBC, CNN, everybody's panicking about how do we couch this to not make it seem like the establishment will potentially lose. So let's start with this segment from MSNBC. Where you will see that they immediately bring on an expert who at first sort of seems to say that maybe you can't trust the poll, but then he knows this is the poll. This is the gold standard poll that we look at this point every election. And so then he says, well, I just think that it's going to change. So they're just figuring out how can we discredit at least the likelihood of this poll telling us who's going to win Iowa. Let's take a listen.
I am perplexed by this poll for two reasons. First, either the people of Iowa are schizophrenic or they just aren't convinced. They remain skeptical.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think the people of Iowa are schizophrenic, although they do have two horrifying GOP senators as their senators, but that's a separate conversation for a separate day. This poll is not an outlier. This is, in fact, as Fernand said, the gold standard. This is it. When it came out last night at 7 o'clock or whatever time it came out, Eastern time, I looked at it and went, no way in hell is this right. But it has to be right because it's Des Moines, right? It's the Des Moines Register and CNN. And so, I mean, I just don't see this. I think a lot can change between now and the day of those caucuses. And these numbers, they tell me something at 30,000 feet. They tell me nothing on the ground in Des Moines or Dubuque or anywhere else.
Okay, now, why it matters what the numbers are in Des Moines or Dubuque in the context of a primary that is happening statewide. Okay, to some degree it matters because you've got to get to that 15% threshold in any precinct. I believe I'm trying to use caucus language instead of primary language. I think they're still called precincts. Okay, so here is where they first start saying, well, okay, I mean, I guess we can't really discredit it, but I'll kind of play coy with that, and then I'll say it could change. On CNN, they're just taking a totally different approach. Let me see if I can zoom this out for us. On CNN, they're using the terminology no clear leader. Now, this is interesting not because, so what's the justification for no clear leader? The no clear leader justification is you have 5 points separating four candidates with a margin of error of almost 4 points. Okay, but were they saying that when it was Biden in the lead? Were they saying that when it was Pete Buttigieg in the lead? And in fact, let me pull up the Iowa polling. Let's just look at it all together here. If we go back and look at Iowa, you will see that you had a long period of time. Let's zoom out a little bit. You had this long period of time where it was Biden just crushing. And I can assure you, even here, like where Biden was only up by 4, or here where Biden was down to 1 to Warren, they were not at that point saying anything other than establishment-centric things. Oh, and I kind of zoomed it in weirdly, and I apologize for that. When Pete Buttigieg took over, and as you can see, there was one point here where he tied, and then he took a few point lead up to 6, 5.5, and then it started going down. The narrative only becomes we have no clue what's going on when Bernie Sanders is in the lead. So it's like, yeah, listen, it's true that this is within the margin of error, but the focus on the margin of error, and it's not really clear who's winning, it's an issue when it's Bernie. Now, does this mean that Bernie is going to win? No, it doesn't. Does this mean Iowa is the be-all, end-all of the primary? No. In fact, I would argue, and I will talk about this on tomorrow's program, I think Iowa will matter less in this primary maybe than it ever has, because the DNC, in order to take importance away from Iowa and New Hampshire, has scheduled the Nevada and South Carolina primaries very soon after Iowa and New Hampshire, and then within just a month, you've got I believe it's March, is it March 6th? That's a Tuesday where you have a whole bunch of elections. March 3rd, is it? Yeah, anyway, I don't have the calendar in front of me. So it's always playing with the narrative. So my advice is anytime you see a headline about a poll, ignore the headline, just go and look and see what the poll says. And what the poll says here and what the trend line is that Bernie Sanders, after nearly tying Joe Biden way back in March, I mean, that's 10 months ago, and then after dropping all the way down to 12%, has basically the blue line been just climbing. You don't have to like Bernie or dislike Bernie simply to recognize that this type of coverage is dishonest coverage. It's establishment-centric coverage. You don't have to think that Bernie's going to pass Medicare for all. You might think he will. You might think he won't. this coverage we have to be extremely skeptical of because it is so establishment-centric. Daniel Krieger says via Super Chat, I love watching these pundits cry. Yeah, it's not so much that they're crying. It's all they're just trying to craft they're just trying to craft narrative is basically the point of what they're doing. Let me say thanks to Charles Wendelberger. Charles Wendelberger is the first member, new member of the evening, and as you can see, we are starting to work our way across, hopefully to 15 members, at which point the phone lines will open. Over on Twitch, thanks to Zizak for subscribing with Twitch Prime, asking, do you think the narrative about Bernie having a ceiling makes any sense? It makes as much sense as any other narrative. I mean, so there's a couple ways you can look at that. You could say, in order to figure out someone's narrative, you've got to figure out how much support do they have in the polls, and then add in their second choice support, and then maybe add in their third choice support. Not every poll does third choice. And that might give you a sense of the ceiling. But that doesn't really tell you very much about what can happen nationally. It's ultimately going to come down. Whatever we identify as a candidate's ceiling or floor, once you're up against Trump and it's a national race, and who knows if Trump's getting tried in the Senate. By the way, I haven't paid any attention to anything this weekend. Have they set a date for the Senate trial, or is that still not happening? I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me. I will be caught up by tomorrow. All bets are off. It's going to come down to a few key states. More than likely, the Democratic candidate is going to win the popular vote in November, and Trump may win or may not win electorally. Consider this an invitation, by the way, to re-up your Twitch Prime subscription. Let's do a couple other super chats here. Let's see. Are you voting for Warren or Bernie? Oh, I've already said I'm not. There's no point in me saying now who I'm going to vote for. I'm not going to unnecessarily divide my audience. There will be people, no matter what I say, people in my audience will say I'm doing the wrong thing, or now this has become a channel that is shilling for one candidate or the other. I've been making every effort to make it clear that I'm a progressive. I'm voting for a progressive in the primary and in the fall. Well, in the fall, there may not be a progressive on the candidate, but there's no point to unnecessarily dividing my audience. Next one, can I borrow $4.20? And they send me $4.20. Well, now that YouTube takes its cut, I don't have the $4.20 to give you, unfortunately. Okay, very good. Let's continue. I have other things to go. Okay. So then Bernie is now being attacked by Donald Trump. And Donald Trump appearing a few hours ago saying, wow, crazy Bernie Sanders is surging in the polls, looking very good against his opponents in the do-nothing party. So what does this all mean? Stay tuned. I think Trump is not particularly thrilled about the idea of running against Bernie. Whether Trump really thinks Bernie's ideas are crazy or not, and they're not. I mean, Bernie's ideas are established government policy in, more than half a dozen countries in Europe. There's nothing crazy about Bernie's ideas. I don't think that Trump is particularly excited to run against Bernie. And again, think about all the time and effort that Donald Trump has put into planning to run against Joe Biden. I mean, as far as we know, he didn't go and threaten to withhold aid to other countries to get him to find dirt on Bernie, right? It was to find dirt on Biden. And so I don't know that Donald Trump will even really know how to run against Bernie. And remember, we know what Donald Trump's defenses against or attacks on Bernie are going to be. They are going to be, Bernie's crazy. Bernie wants just free things for everybody. Bernie's a socialist. This will never be a socialist country, although socialist is a term that is seen less negatively now in the United States than it has been in a very, very long time. I don't know how much Trump has a sense of how to run against Bernie Sanders, whereas Trump knows how to run against Joe Biden. He's going to go after Burisma. He's going to go after corruption. He's going to go after failures of Biden during the Obama administration, which Joe Biden has not really addressed very well. When Joe Biden has been asked about, well, under the Obama administration, you guys failed to do this, you guys failed to do that. And Biden basically has said, I wasn't the president, I was the vice president. But of course, he's also very quick to take credit for successes under the Obama administration. So I think that Trump knows how to run against Biden way more. It's way clearer than how to run against Bernie Sanders. That's my sense, and I'm glad to hear from folks. Thanks to Eternus for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thanks to Jala Hippo for subscribing for 3 months in a row with Twitch Prime. Also want to say thanks to Carl Zippel for signing up at joinpacman.com and Dave Hunt for signing up at joinpacman.com. Very much appreciate that. I will continue taking questions and comments by Super Chat on YouTube and via the messages you can attach to your Twitch Prime subscription over on Twitch. Okay, let's go next. Here's a very interesting interview. I'm hoping to get to this tomorrow on the broadcast show, but I may not. Donald Trump was recently interviewed by Laura Ingraham. And to her credit, Laura Ingraham did sort of try to keep Trump accountable on some things. But, you know, every time something like this happens, like when you've got, I don't know, when Tucker Carlson is against something that Trump's doing, but for the wrong reasons, it's important to understand how that can the echo chamber of the Fox News viewer. But usually the disagreement is based in a policy that we also find despicable as people of the left. And that is clearly the case here with Laura Ingraham. So we're going to get to this momentarily. But first, I do want to answer. This is actually a super chat that it's something that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. Andrew Dwyer says, could Trump possibly pull off not debating Democratic candidate in general? He recently said that he would not debate. Let's actually pull that up. I have these, the tweets in my notes. I think that is a real possibility. And if you're of the mindset that Donald Trump is simply scared to debate, if you're of the mindset that Donald Trump's cognitive decline may make him look very bad during debates, back on December 16th, I wasn't going to do this today. I was going to save it for tomorrow, but let's do it. Donald Trump tweeted what may be a signal that he is at least opening the door to not debating, where he said, I look very much forward to debating whoever the lucky person is who stumbles across the finish line in the little-watched do-nothing Democrat debates. My record is so good on the economy and all else, including debating. His record on debating, he looked like an idiot in 3 debates against Hillary and otherwise has never debated, that perhaps I would consider more than 3 debates. The problem is that the so-called Commission on Presidential Debates is stacked with Trump haters and never Trumpers. 3 years ago, they were forced to publicly apologize for modulating my microphone in the first debate against crooked Hillary. As president, the debates are up to me, and there are many options, including doing them directly and avoiding the nasty politics of the biased capital C Commission. I will make a decision at an appropriate time, but in the meantime, the Commission on Presidential Debates is not authorized to speak for me or Republicans. So, you know, this is Trump potentially signaling that he is not going to debate at all and leaving the door open to do it for any number of reasons. Okay, over on Twitch, the hype train is starting. This is we got to hype train level 2 last time. This is a new thing, I guess, where if bits and subs come in, there's a hype train, and we're at 81% of level 1 right now. And I guess then we could get to level 2 and then potentially to level 3. We've never been to level 3 during one of my streams. Sam Cedar, thanks to Sam Cedar for cheering 300 bits with the message, "You're very attractive." Oh, thanks, Sam. I'll text you after the show. I appreciate it. Also, K2 squared 2 cheered 1 bit. Okay, let's get into this interview. Actually, let me just do a couple of other super chats while they're here. M. Gray, can I take you on a date so we can eat matzo balls? You know, I don't eat matzo balls just loose. A loose matzo ball is not something I've ever eaten, but you know, matzo ball soup is great. They've got a great matzo ball soup at a place called Mamala's in Cambridge. They've got a great matzo ball soup at another place called Our Fathers, up in, I guess it's technically in Brighton, but you will not find me eating a loose matzo ball soup. Okay, we reached level 2 of the hype train on Twitch, and we have 4 minutes and 40 seconds to potentially reach level 3. We've never reached level 3, so to the extent that it's a completely arbitrary and meaningless thing, let's do it. Let's get right into this interview now. So again, the context here is Laura Ingraham being tough with Trump, holding Trump accountable, but she's almost as loony as he is. Let's take a look.
A lot. On the economy today, we found out that, still added 146,000 jobs. Unemployment historically low at 3.5%. But we do have a little bit of a stall out on wage growth, which you ran on, and we've seen some, 2.9% last year, 0.1% over the last month. But we don't have a tight labor market. If we had a tight labor market, we'd be seeing real increases in wages. Yeah. I hear that your team is planning on advocating more foreign workers coming in for some of these high-tech companies.
So understand. So here's the setup. It's like when Tucker Carlson last week said, pause it, by the way. When Tucker Carlson last week said, it was stupid to kill Soleimani. Iran's not the biggest threat. Let's not do it. We've got problems to deal with here. One of the problems Tucker wants to deal with is too many brown people making the country dirtier. Okay. So while we agree with the policy conclusion, we don't agree with the reasoning behind it. Similarly here, Laura Ingraham is saying, I've heard you're going to do something to maybe do something helpful for the economy, but you're bringing in more foreigners. We don't want that because she is one of these xenophobe sort of nationalist types. So let's continue.
Concerned about that, as are a lot of your supporters.
And so is Mark Levin a little bit.
Yeah, we're concerned because Americans, you ran on America
Lou Dobbs is concerned too. But I'll say, Lou, here's the problem. I'm demanding that Japan and all these companies, the countries that have these massive, we have trade deficits like nobody's ever seen before. I say, you got to open up. I call Prime Minister Abe, he's a friend of mine. I say, Shinzo, you got to open up more plants in the United States. And they tell me, we want to do it, we want to do it. They start opening. They can't get labor. We need help. Otherwise, we could just say, don't open up.
If they couldn't get labor, wages would be going up. Wages aren't going up. Not in the high-tech industry. We're seeing a plateauing of wages.
They wanted 3% and it went up 2.9%. In the last 2 years, wages have gone up more than they have in 25 years.
But for Google, why reward Google? Google's working against you in this
I don't want to reward Google. I'm not a fan.
All they want is low-skilled workers,
I'm not a fan of Google, but I'm a fan of great companies, okay?
You didn't run on bringing more foreign workers into the United States.
It's not foreign workers. We have to allow smart people to stay in our country. You graduate number one in your class at Harvard. You graduate from the Wharton School of Finance.
No, it's not.
It's a lot.
But you ran on people training their foreign replacements. That you ran against that. Americans, it's humiliating for an American worker, work for a company for 30 years. Now it's told you got to train your foreign replacement who's going to live in Korea and you're going to pay him 20%.
No, that's different. I would never do that. But we do need workers in our country. And I do want an immigration policy. Nobody's been better on immigration than me. By the way, we won the funding for the wall, and the wall's been...
Oh, now he just goes into lies. Now everything he says from here on out is completely false.
Built anyway, because I was taking it out of the military, everything else. And now it's easier. We need people. I got Foxconn to go into Wisconsin. They have to get people. They spent a fortune. They built the most incredible plant I've ever seen. In Wisconsin, Foxconn, they make all the Apple stuff.
Why should we have American graduates of colleges and universities taking those jobs?
We do, but we don't have enough of them. We don't have enough of them. And we have to be competitive with the rest of the world, too. The companies want to hire these people, and
they want to hire people they can hire for the cheapest amount because that's what they want.
I'm not talking about cheap. I'm talking about brain power. No. They want to hire smart people, and those people are thrown out of the country. No. We can't do that.
Well, you ran on America First. Anyway,
this is America First.
All right, I'm going to keep
pressuring you. I just have to finish this. If we tell smart people to get the hell out, that's not
what we're saying.
That's a bad thing.
There's a never-ending appetite on the part of corporate America to bring in as much cheap labor as possible to drive down wages.
Laura, I have so many companies coming into this country. You're not going to have to worry about it. It's always going to be a shortage. If somebody's smart sitting in this position, we have so many companies coming in from Japan. Japan's doing many car companies. China now is going to start building a lot of things here. You know, they haven't been doing it too much. We have so many companies wanting to come in, and they don't have the labor, but they're coming in.
Okay, so from a macroeconomic perspective, of course, Laura Ingraham is right. If you flood the labor market with people willing to work for less, they're going to work for less. That's why you need a minimum wage. And of course, the biggest beneficiaries of undocumented immigrant labor are, of course, the corporations that don't, that rarely, if ever, are actually held accountable for the crime that they are committing in hiring undocumented immigrants. And instead, we make the focus about people who are just coming here trying to get themselves a better life. But So anyway, the point here is Laura Ingram's politics basically are disgusting and terrible, but she's figured out a way to appear to be holding Trump accountable that has some semblance of economic sense, much like when Tucker Carlson held Trump accountable. And we know that ultimately his politics and his motives are ones that we completely disagree with. We reached level 3 of the hype train on Twitch for the first time, thanks to the, let's see, who do I need to thank? I need to thank Smite Bright for the bits, as well as Glargabul Gashmanik for subscribing with Twitch Prime, CG Bang for subscribing with Twitch Prime, saying keep up the great work. Breezy and Sam Cedar sent some bits. Breezy sent some more bits. T-Man20 Rocks signed up. And then we got bits from MF Kool-Aid and Breezy and K2 Squared. So we have 3 minutes to make it to level 4. And that we have certainly never done. Completing level 3 requires combined support events totaling 5 tier 1 subs or 2,100 bits. And we just did it thanks to Smite Bright giving out 5 tier 1 community subs. Very exciting. So I think now we are at Hype Train level something else. All right, let me get to some of the other super chats that have been coming in over on YouTube, and then I have many more things to talk to you guys about. Daniel Krieger says, I love you, but grow some balls and endorse Bernie. Oh, geez. Sean Geis says, some YouTube commentators are saying that Warren should drop out to support Bernie since Bernie is first for Warren supporters' second choice. Do you agree? Let's see if those are the numbers. Let's take a look. Morning Consult has some good numbers on that, so let's take a look at those. Morning Consult. Who's leading? Let's see. Second choice. Here we go. Okay, so Sanders supporters have as their top second choice Warren, and Warren supporters have as their top second choice Bernie. So in this poll, Sanders has 23, and then 33% of Warren's supporters would go to Bernie. So that's 33% of 14. That's roughly like 4 2/3, call it 5. So that gets Bernie to 28. And then you've got 14 plus 32% of 23, which is like 11 plus 14 is 25. Okay, yeah, I mean, so there, you could make a case. See, the thing is, unless you're really looking at the specific states and breaking it down that way, more than likely, the Democratic candidate is going to win the popular vote. That's the reality. So you really need to look at this. I think you need to slice and dice it a little bit more. And if only we could do the math on it, and then we could really figure it out. But that's an interesting idea. Okay, let's see other messages that came in. Abhinav Sangasetti says via YouTube Super Chat, what's your opinion on Iran protests against the Islamic Republic? Yeah, my dad was sending me a bunch of stuff about that, and I will likely talk about it tomorrow, if not Tuesday, but I've been doing a lot of research on that. People asking if Tulsi dropped out. I don't believe that she did. Let me say thank you to James Auburn. James Auburn is the 4th new member. Let's watch it move. There it goes. I could move my entire body instead of just my finger. And then eventually we would be like over here. 4 of 15 new members. The target is indeed 15, and we will open the phone lines if we get to that point. Okay, over on Twitch, we are 65% of the way to Hype Train level 5, and we have reached it thanks to CG Beng, who just gave out 2 tier 1 community sub gifts. We have reached Hype Train level 5. Oh no, we've completed level 4. We are now at Hype Train level 5. Let's see what the parameters are. Completing level 5 requires combined support events totaling 6 tier 1 subs or 3,000 bits. Okay. Well, we'll see if we can make it to that. Let's continue here. All right. I want to play a video for you. I tweeted about this yesterday. By the way, if you followed me on Twitter, you would have known about this 24 hours ago. This kid right here has upper management written all over him. I don't know who this girl is. Let's see. Caitlin Bennett, Kent State gun girl. Let's look up who this is. Caitlin Bennett is an American gun rights advocate, anti-abortion activist, and social media personality. She received media attention for open carrying. Can you imagine getting attention for carrying a weapon around? You should get police attention. That's the attention you should get. Anyway, I guess she does these interviews. And she goes and she interviews this guy and says tampons in men's bathrooms, condoms or something in women's bathrooms. It's basically just anti-trans. And no, people who are shocked I don't know who this is. I don't watch anything. I don't watch any of this crap. Anyway, this guy is just like, why do you care? Why do you care about this stuff? Who cares? Take a listen to this. Upper management written all over him. About putting urinals in women's restrooms for women who have penises and they just want to stand and pee.
I think people just making too big of a deal about it. I don't really care.
Ooh. Naughty words. Okay, so we should or shouldn't?
I mean, I don't really care.
Okay. What about tampons and pads in men's restroom for men who have periods?
If you're really getting that worked up about it, why does it matter? Like, I don't care. It's just sitting there. I'm not going to take it.
Okay, so we should provide men with tampons.
I mean, if a dude wants a tampon for some reason, he can have a tampon. That's not my business.
That's the best, right? It's like, who cares? If a friend of mine said, hey, you know what? If a male friend said, I'm carrying around tampons, I would say, what are they for? I don't care what you do, but that's weird. What do you need it for? And if they said, they give me an explanation, I'd say, oh, all right, well, I don't care. You would like, who cares? What would he use it for?
I don't know. That's his problem.
What would he use a pad for?
His problem.
Do you think they should seek medical advice if they're having bleeding?
I mean, if they want to, I don't really care. Why should I care?
I don't know. I care about people. If they're bleeding out of their penis, I would want to...
I care about people's personal rights. They can do whatever they want. It's none of my business.
So this guy's the best. I'm gonna use this. Let's just check out. I am curious whether any of the other ones went like this. So let's just take a look. What's in your laptop case? Laptop? Your laptop. Are you sure? That's not what I heard. I have an important question for you.
Okay.
What do you think about putting urinals in the women's restroom for women who have penises?
I don't care about that.
This is the right reaction. Who cares? Let's figure out how to get people health care. Let's take a listen to this one too.
Yeah, there's more than people think.
What, men having periods?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By God. Did you tell them to seek medical help if men are having periods?
Well, trans men have periods.
Oh, okay. Okay, explain that one to me.
Yeah, so people who have transitioned from female to male, obviously, they might still have periods, and, if they identify as male, they have the right to go into the men's room. But if they're still having periods, they have the right to have, the products they need. Yeah, there's
this is just the best. I love this. Let's see. It looks like did she call trans women predators? Let's see.
Then they identify as a woman.
Oh. Who would have known men walking into... Okay, don't question anything about men walking into women's restrooms ever. They're just there because they're women. They're not predators.
Then they identify as
not predators. Yeah, can you just imagine caring so much about this?
Why violence is so wrong to condemn. I don't enough to know, right?
I think she's having as much fun as he is.
Allowing them into their venue, allowing them into their space, and this is the type of behavior they engage in. Look at this guy.
She's going to make a whole narrative because he doesn't say a word, and she makes a whole narrative. It's crazy.
Condemn the violence. Can anyone condemn the violence?
Look at the kind of behavior they engage in. I know. They're smiling. Yeah.
I'm just asking to say we should not be violent towards ICE officers. That's all I'm asking. Should we be violent towards ICE officers?
Oh man, what a troll. Yeah, the best thing I think is ignore her and also just say who cares about these things. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, so it looks like we got only to Hype Train level 5 and then things fell apart, which is okay. It's still higher than we've ever gotten before. All right. Let's see other questions that have come in via Super Chat. Let me see here. I didn't. Okay. Abhinav Sangasetti says, "What time do your streams usually start and end?" There is no usual. Usually they don't start before 6 p.m. Eastern, and they rarely end after 11 p.m. Eastern. But within that, it could be any time. Julius Robinson says via Super Chat, "I don't believe in second choice polling if there's no option to say none. What are your thoughts?" Second choice. Well, I mean, it depends on whether you're talking to someone who's definitely voting, right? If someone is definitely voting, it doesn't really matter if it says none because they're going to pick someone else. So I'd have to think about that a little more. I don't know that that's necessarily problematic, although, yeah. All right. Let's continue. I want to say thanks to Creative Name 1000 for signing up with Twitch Prime, as well as everybody else who has done so. Let's keep going. Oh, okay. I already played this for you. All right. So let's go through some voicemails now. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. One of the things I typically do on Sunday evening is I go through the voicemails that came in to figure out what we might be able to use on the broadcast show during the week. And it can sometimes get a little bit ugly. So let's just start listening to them and see if any of these are usable. Oh, wait a second. Here we go.
Just wonder what you think about this. Based on my own observation, I kind of think that the people who support Trump hate liberals with a passion because they think liberals.
All right, I can just tell it's not good, and I know that to a lot of people this might seem like I'm being judgmental. But what I'm seeing is I'm listening to it, I'm seeing a transcript of it, and I'm looking at the duration of it. And I'm also noticing whether it's someone who calls like 30 times a day. So within like 5 seconds, I can basically tell if we're going to be using it or not.
David, this is Dave from California, and you are once again correct. Lindsey Graham said that President Trump's...
Yep, I can tell we're not using it. Let's take a listen to another one.
Hi, David. My name is Topher. I'm from Provo in the Orem, Utah area. My dad posted on Facebook today.
Yep, not using it. It's 3 minutes long, and if that's the cadence, it'll take the full 3 minutes to get to the point. Let's take a listen to another one.
David, this is Robert in Riverside. Dude, you are driving me insane with calling her Tulsi Gabbard. Or
that's why I do
Gabbard or whatever you come up with. Her name is Tulsi Gabbard. I know Tulsi is probably because she's a Russian tool.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Dude, please stop.
That's actually sort of funny. So that I'll download that one and I'll put it in a possible folder, which I'm doing right now. Let's see. Voicemail, we'll call that Angry with Tulsi. And okay, that's a maybe. We've got a bunch of 3-minute voicemails I'm not even going to get into here. Let's see.
Hi, David. This is Jason from Portland. So I wanted to talk to you about I wanted to get feedback on the universal basic income.
I've done 100 voicemails on that topic, so I know right away that I'm skipping it. Here's another 3-minute one, which is no good. Let's take a listen to another one.
Hi, David. This is Bill from Minnesota. Listen,
What the heck?
What? Wait a second.
Okay. And then he calls back.
Hi, David. This is Bill from Minnesota. Sorry about that last call. I got disconnected. Listen, I agree with everything you say. I'm with you 100%. Thank God there's still people out there that think like you and me. But so instead of just agreeing with the with all the issues that are out here and everything,
it goes. I'm skipping ahead the transcript. It's about ayahuasca, so I don't think I don't know anything about that.
Hey, 2 quick things. I think if I remember correctly, the Sam Cedar vegan debacle.
Debacle. I like that. That's like when William Shatner said sabotage. I like that. Debacle.
The hell you say it. Is I think they're mad at him because he's not completely opposed to.
So, this is not usable, right? So on the last stream, I watched a debate Sam Cedar had with a vegan. I can't do a voicemail on my broadcast show about a debate that happened on the Sam Seder show that nobody saw, right? So that I can immediately tell you that this one's no good. I think this next one is from troll caller Troy York.
David Pakman, what facts do you have that President Trump is getting advice from Tucker Carlson? That is just total fabrication. It's a lie.
I'm kind of bored with Troy York, so I'm just moving on. That's like a 2.5 minute voicemail, and it's not, a lot of 3-minute ones. I'll just give you, so here's like another 3-minute one. 3 minutes is the max that's allowed. So when I see 3 minutes, the person talked all the way up to the beep, which is, we've never aired a 3-minute voicemail before, but just for kicks, I'll play it just to give you a sense of what that sounds like.
Hey, David. My name's Jay. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Big fan of the show. Hey, I just want to let you know that I served for 16 years in the Air Force. I was a pararescue man. I've been overseas, Iraq, matter of fact, Iran. I'll be 45 in March. I was in Fallujah. Actually, I was blown up in Fallujah. I have a titanium plate in my head from a roadside bomb. Broke the tibia fib, blew it out of my left leg, radius and all my left wrist. My orbital bone, left side of my face and my nose.
So I mean, I feel terribly for what happened to this gentleman, but so I can tell in reading that he's giving backstory up until the 3-minute mark is reached, and of course, unfortunately, that's not usable for a 2-minute voicemail segment. Let's see what else we have. I am skipping some because I want to give you guys like a sense of different things instead of actually listening to all of these. Let's take a listen to another one.
Hello, David. I'm first of all, a Bernie supporter, and I do believe that he is very likely to win the presidency. But on the other hand, I'm a realist, and I think a lot of the supporters are being very naive if they're not expecting some sort of capitulation in a Sanders presidency. And I want to. There's an article in the most recent Indies Times magazine written by Brian Tokar called "Why Bernie Can't Be Organizer-in-Chief." So my question is, do you think that a lot of these Bernie supporters, especially a lot of the social media and a lot of these people with the YouTube channels, are bracing themselves for a disappointment if they're not expecting some sort of concessions?
So I've addressed that before, and I can't think of any other way to do it that won't just piss a lot of people off. So I don't know that it's a good one. Here is Troy York calling back with another one of his fake names. This time it's Woody Underwood. He does this like all night.
Hey, David Pakman, this is Woody Underwood. Hey, I think that you're dumber. Dave Pakman is dumber than Dave Dobrik. I think basically you're mentally declining. Your cognitive decline is going down even at your early age of 20-something because you cannot even tell.
Anyway, so then he called back again, and so these are all Troy York. He called earlier with no name, then he called as Woody Underwood. He immediately called back 16 minutes later. This time he claims his name is it's like Dave Berkson or something.
Hey, David, this is Dave Berkson. Just calling a couple of points that you brought up in today's program. Again, you just keep stating that about China not paying the tariffs. Well, whether you believe it or not, and you're going to keep mentioning it all the time, but China is paying for the tariffs just from the fact that they're not meeting the projected growth that the business projectionists and
yes, the projectionists who project films. They are projectionists for films as well as for economics, apparently. Okay, I'm skipping over a couple from people that I've already played for you who are calling multiple times, and I don't want to deal with that. But as you can see, so the point is we've already gone through about 30, including the ones I have played for you and the ones I haven't played for you, and we have one maybe so far. So it really is very, very slim pickings. Let's take a look at one other.
Hi, David. This is Matthew from Kansas. I enjoyed hearing your thoughts on some of the best Argentine rock bands, and I just wanted to put in a plug for my own favorite, which is an amazing band from the 70s called Sui Generis. I'm sure you've heard of them.
Oh, yeah.
But anybody out there who might want to just have their mind blown, go ahead and check them out. Sui Generis. Thanks a lot, David. Bye.
Yep, a very nice message, not useful for the broadcast show, of course. Let's see. A lot of repeat calls. So like this person keeps calling, for example.
Hey, David. This is Dave in California. There was a Republican congressman called Collins, and he went on TV on Fox and says only...
So again, this is 3 minutes long, and it's not a story we've done. So anyway, there's more, but I think that this gives you guys kind of a sense of what we're picking from every week. So we sort of do the best we can, right? I mean, that's really all we can do. I see a lot of people, including Val from Agawam, asking if the phone lines are going to open. And I don't know, Val, because our target is 15 new members. We're at 4, and that's with an extraordinary coupon code, right? So if you go to my website, joinpacman.com, I recommend yearly because you save even more money. You type in the coupon code 2020 now, and it drops it to $20.20, which is, of course, the year that we're in. And you don't even have to do it yearly. If you want to do it monthly, it's more expensive over the course of a year, but you can use the same coupon code, and it'll drop it to $2.02. If 11 more people sign up, and then the bar will fill up completely and explode off of the screen, I will open up the phone lines. Now I am seeing, maybe I should even add something. Let me know if this would this is because it's this fixes itself if I didn't have my browser. Anyway, let's get off of that. I don't know if people would be interested in this, but I see a lot of people in the chat mentioning that a couple streams ago, I demonstrated just the firm pliability of my hair by puffing it all up like in my profile picture on Twitter, and people are asking for me to do that again. If we get to 20 new members, I will do that. And just as a little preview, just look at just one push, and it starts to get very crazy. So that's something that we can maybe stick on the tail end if things go really well with new memberships. Okay, let me answer a few other super chats that are coming in. Super chats, of course, the best way to get a question in front of me, which I will read and react to. Addie D says, hey, David, do you know of the spider-tailed viper? I know nothing about it. Courtney Haynes says, David, thanks for never buying into the economic anxiety narrative. Numerous studies have shown exactly why Trump is voted the way they did. Yeah, so here's the thing. There is an economic anxiety component, but it's basically of people that don't look like you achieving equal status. And when you're used to a privileged status, equality seems like discrimination. So in that very narrow sense, defined in exactly that way, you could say that that economic anxiety is accurate, but it's accurate in a very, very narrow sense. Let's see. People are asking, where is the link for membership? It is just joinpacman.com. Joinpacman.com. Very, very simple website. And that's, of course, Pakman. All right, so we did this. Let's move on to, I haven't seen this yet, and I wanted to watch it with you guys. I've been reading that Donald Trump, we covered this rally last week, and I didn't see this part. Donald Trump apparently says he should win the Nobel Prize because he saved Ethiopia. I have no clue what he said, but let's take a look at it.
Soleimani was actively planning new attacks.
Untrue.
And he was looking very seriously at our embassies, and not just the embassy in Baghdad, but we stopped him, and we stopped him quickly, and we stopped him cold. So in my direction, the United States military eliminated Qasem Soleimani and ended his rampage through not only that part of the world, but much bigger parts of the world. He was all over. He was
all parts of the world Trump could not find on a map.
Bad guy. He was a bloodthirsty terror, and he's no
I like that.
longer a terror. He's dead. I mean, I'm going to tell you about the Nobel Peace Prize. I'll tell you about that.
Yeah.
I made a deal. I saved a country. And I just heard that the head of that country is now getting the Nobel Peace Prize for saving the country. I said, did I have something to do with it? Yeah. But, that's the way it is. As long as we know, that's all that matters, okay?
No one in the audience knows what he's talking. There's no one in the audience could possibly know what it is that he is talking about. I mean, that just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Wow, that is weird. Let me say thanks to Ian Fitzpatrick for signing up at joinpacman.com, as well as Matthew Ellis. That gets us to six new members. Very much appreciate your support. Okay, so for people asking where to call to leave voicemails, the normal voicemail number that we were just checking out is 219-2-DAVID-P, 219-2-DAVID-P. If you want the other voicemail number that's a funny one is the live calls number, which is 617-830-4750. And sometimes people call that when we're not actually taking live calls. And those voicemails can be pretty funny. And I actually want to listen to a couple of them with you right now. Let's see what's been going on there. Okay, that's just a hang up.
David, hi. My name's Lynn. I'm from the 619 area code in California. Please don't use this on your show.
Okay, well, if they're saying don't use this on the show, I will stop it. But I couldn't hear a word of it anyway, so no risk of that.
David, this is Colonel Terry Maxwell calling from Santa Cruz, California. And I'm a smart person, and I'm in the smart wing. And I will tell you the Democrats will lose if they do not remove themselves from being for open state sanctuary cities and sanctuary states. If they do not defend us from the immigration invasion, they will lose. I'm simpatico to immigrants, but I don't want a billion more people trying to live here than we can accommodate.
A billion, huh? Okay, I didn't know that was happening. Let's take a listen to a couple others.
Yeah, so you're asking a very...
Okay, that was weird. Almost sounded like my voice in the background. A lot of hang-ups happening.
Hi, David Pacman. This is Aristotle from Minnesota, California, and I just wanted your opinion on this. I think I might have left a call for you about a few weeks ago, but I don't know if you got to it because I know you probably got a ton of calls going through. But my initial question for you is, I know we got a lot of shit going on with Iran right now and the whole Soleimani assassination, and that's literally all I'm hearing about right now. And I'm kind of curious to see what your opinion is on if are we officially at war with Iran now?
No, we're not. Okay, that's a quick one. I can answer that and move right on.
Hey, Mr. Pac-Man.
Uh-oh, here we go. Is this the same hillbilly? So here's the question. Is that guy... Uh-oh, where is it? Are we listening to the same person here?
Yeah, hey, David Packman. You think that it's so damn bad living in the United States from what...
I can't tell if it's the same guy. Let's see.
What is up with all the hate mongering on your fucking Facebook threads?
Oh, no, this guy sounds like he's on my side.
Dude, this is ridiculous. How can you see this shit and not want to go say, hey, y'all can't fucking be like this? It's fucking ridiculous. What the fuck is wrong with you people? You want to make fun of people, act like they're fucking hateful just because they want secure borders, and then look at y'all.
Oh, no, this guy is against me. Okay, it's like he's just ranting. You can't even tell if he's in favor of what I'm saying or against it.
Y'all are as hateful and ignorant as can be. Please answer your phone so I can tell you how fucking stupid you are.
Oh.
We can debate. I will be respectful. Answer your phone. What is this shit? You only answer when it's from an area code that's fucking Democrat majority?
No, it's that you called at 6:15 in the morning on a Saturday, and that's not when I live stream.
What the fuck? Are you lazy and only answer it 2 or 3 times a day?
2 or 3 times a day. 2 or 3 times a week, my friend.
You don't do nothing but hate monger and lie on fucking Facebook, and it's pathetic. Now answer your phone so we can talk and we can come to a conclusion on whether or not you're hate mongering.
It's really sad what's happened to Lindsey Graham, actually. Let me, I am going to save that one because that might have some mileage. I don't even know what to call it. Loud hate monger dude needs bleeping if we are going to use it on the broadcast show, though. That is for sure. Let me invite you to re-up or start a Twitch Prime subscription if you're watching on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free on Twitch Prime, and that supports us and it costs you absolutely nothing. Let me say hi to a couple of other new members here. I don't want to ignore anybody. Jonathan Hughes has just signed up for a David Pakman Show membership. Richard Prudencio is a new David Pakman Show member. Christy Briggs is a new David Pakman Show member, as is Cody Hinshaw. Thanks, Cody. And Margaret Western. That's 5 more, which gets us to 11. If we set, actually, let me see if I can do this. Here. Let me see if this works. Did that work? No, that didn't work. Let's see here. 50 new members. There's some way I can put up a second goal here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there we go. Okay, good. So now I'll do phone. Brilliant. Okay, good. All right. So if we get to 15 new members, we will open up the phone lines, and then if we get to 20, I will, do the crazy hair thing, and there will be memes, and it'll be a huge thing. Okay. Very good. Margaret Western, we thanked, and now let's get over to super chats. Dave Rubin in the chat. Dave Rubin says, how much would I have to donate for you to try to convince Ben Shapiro to come to my anniversary party? I don't know, $500. Pyroplasma says, are you pro gun confiscation or just more control? So listen, I have no problem whatsoever with the concept of, quote, confiscating guns, which is not the language I use. The language I would use is, as a society, we decide we are going to make ourselves safer by taking certain weapons that serve no purpose other than to facilitate mass killing off the streets. You might call it a confiscation. I call it that. I just think that we are so far from even doing much easier things to do, and there is such low-hanging fruit that I would not start with trying to confiscate any firearms. I would start with universal background checks, eliminating the gun show loophole, restricting and making ammunition more expensive, requiring gun insurance, requiring relicensing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see, other super chats that have come in. Shiv Saxena says, what do you think about private property? How about intellectual property? Do you mean private property in the way that a Marxist would use it, or just the idea of people owning stuff like computers? I need to clarify that. As far as intellectual property, I think that I am not against copyright, trademark, etc. on principle. I think we need to be more thoughtful about how we do it in order to encourage and discourage the right behaviors, so to speak, and to prevent rent seeking that is bad for the economy at large. Nova Caesar says, I left you a voicemail about right to work from Indiana. All right, well, I may hear it at some point. All right, that's that. Let me thank a few new Twitch Prime subscribers. The Big Loon says, thanks for everything. Love the show. Senior B subscribed with Twitch Prime. Marv1236 subscribed with Twitch Prime. DG3241 subscribed with Twitch Prime. And Gert156 has also subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. I need your help finding something that I wanted to do on stream today, and I don't know exactly where to find it, which is there were some interviews that I saw that were done with Trump supporters outside the most recent rally, the rally in Ohio, including with a young kid who was asked, what's one thing Trump did that you like? And the kid couldn't name anything. Can someone tell me how to find those interviews? Because I'm interested in playing some of those, and I just don't know where to find them. Trump supporter rally. I'm searching Twitter. Trump supporter rally interview. They're all from 2019, so that's not it. Trump supporter Ohio, maybe. Oh, I found one of them. Actually, is it? But it's a Vic Berger video, and sometimes he modifies them. I think I found some of them though. Let's take a look. Let's see.
You believe the president has done well?
I'm not really sure. I just support him.
Like, is that doctored? I can't tell. I can't tell if that's doctored. Let's see something else here.
Get out of the way of the folks coming up here. What's your name?
Bo Gray.
Say that again.
Bo Gray.
Bo Gray. What are you doing out here?
Me and my mom and Nene and Papa are sitting here because we're about to see the most greatest president in the whole wide world.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. This is child abuse, right? Can I even play this? I don't even know if I can play this.
Donald Trump.
Oh, you just reminded me of my daughter when you said that. Your Nene and Papa. God bless you. Lord, I just pray a special blessing. Tell me, Bo. Is it Bo?
Yes.
I pray a special blessing on Bo, Lord.
Wasn't the kid's name Gray or something?
But I pray that you would bless and keep him. You'd make your face to shine upon him. Be gracious unto him. Raise him up, Lord, into the warrior that you have him to be. Let this light shine out of this young man. Lord, I pray in any of the darkness that wants to
How?
come, Lord, that your light would just shine through it. Man, I'm glad to meet you, Bo, and I'm glad that your papa and is it Nana?
Nene.
Nene, your papa and your Nene brought you out here. How old are you?
I'm 8 years old. I'm 8 years old. I go to school in Baldwin Elementary.
That is so cool. And did you get out of school today to come see the president?
Yes.
Is this your first time?
My mom checked me out to get Papa and Nene.
Is this your mom?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's so cool. So
Please
your mom
interview
checked
Mom.
you out of school. That didn't hurt your feelings, though, did it?
No, that didn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, you were pretty excited.
Everybody's here to see Donald Trump. The stage is ready. Everybody's ready in their seats. They have snacks and they're ready for the greatest moment of a lifetime.
Is this your first time to see him?
Yes.
How excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm so excited. Donald Trump.
You know, do you realize what people in Canada think when they see this? I mean, I know that Trumpists don't care, but do you understand? I was just in Europe. Do you understand what people are, what's happening over there? People are asking us, how? I feel bad for this kid.
Seen Donald Trump on TV once when he became the first president of the United States of America.
So when he comes out on that stage, are you just going to be going crazy?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Anything else you want to say? Do you play football? I see the football shirt.
I really don't play football, but maybe when I grow up, I will play football.
Awesome. Hey, it's such an honor to meet you, young man. And shout out to your mom. God bless you. All right, let's screen.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. So this one we already saw. This one we already saw. Yeah, and then we get to just 2019 stuff. So wow. I mean, that is something else, right? That is extremely depressing. Extremely depressing. Okay, I see the super chats and the Twitch Prime subs. Let me just welcome Eric Driggers, as well as Jael Martin. Appreciate your support. That gets us to 13 members for the evening. Thank you very, very much. Okay, Pyroplasma says, would you take away those guns from cops as well? I think that it's okay for police to be armed, although the question is with what, right? And I think that's a different conversation. Stand Up and Fight Back says, stand up and fight back. Okay. Sam here says, raise the age limit to 25 for weapons. That's an idea that's been floated around. Alexander Stone says, could you interview Bo of the Fifth Column? I will look into it. I will look into it. Always interested in interview suggestions. Ben Dover says, in high school, I could tell the powers of the president were pretty extensive and things could go south fast if there was a bad apple. Should we really be upset Trump exposes the true dangers of these powers? I said this almost word for word last week, Ben, if that's your real name. Brennan Klassen says, hey, thanks, David. What platform do you play chess on? I play on chess.com and Lichess. Thank you for the opportunity. I meant to tell you guys. Next Tuesday, February 21st, is the first annual David Pakman Show chess tournament on lichess.org. Anybody can enter. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday the 21st. I will be playing in it. Maybe staff will be playing in it. I don't know. So if you play chess regularly, if you don't, it's open to everybody. Register on lichess.org. And I will go live. I will play live the entire tournament. It'll just be an hour tournament, 3-minute games. It'll be 3 + 2 games. You start with 3 minutes, you get 2 seconds per move additional. And you just get points for each game, and we will have we will have some winner at the end. I'm not that good. I've only played against Destiny once. I didn't beat him. It was a 30-second game, and I was not prepared for it, and I did not beat him. I don't play 30-second chess either, so I don't really know the strategy. So this is open to anybody. There is no way I'm going to win. There are some really good players in our audience. So the David Pakman Show chess tournament will be Tuesday, the 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern. Not this Tuesday. This Tuesday, I'll be live streaming the debate, maybe, unless I get shut down, which I probably will. Next Tuesday at 8 p.m., it'll be on lichess.org, and you will be able to find the tournament when we go live at davidpakman.com/chess. So make a note of it in your calendar, please. I would love to have like at least 50 people play in the tournament, which would be cool. Okay, let's see. Other super chats. Jane Woman Power. I feel you, David, from Canada. Sick indoctrination of children. Yeah, this video was ugly. Foolishness says, hey, David, I'm from France, and don't you think resources and climate problems are bigger threats to us than the rise of right-wing ideology? They go hand in hand, and the rise of right-wing ideology prevents us from fixing a lot of problems. So I would hesitate to rank those issues in that exact way. Tomubone says, is there a list of every horrible thing Trump has done? Of everything, every horrible thing Trump has done. Had a coworker today tell me he likes him because he's unproblematic. Yeah, that's an uninformed person. You can't do much about that, unfortunately. King's Hound says, hey, David, Cenk Uygur is running for Congress. When will you, no plans, do you think he has a chance? Yes, I do. I don't know anything about the polling, but my instinct is that Cenk has a chance based on his fundraising. Austin Dreiss is a new David Pakman Show member and is new member number 14 of the evening. 14 of the evening. Thank you so much. Let me get the Twitch thank yous in. Justin Avery Smith subscribed with Twitch Prime. Ugly Buddha subscribed with Twitch Prime. And Backdoor also subscribed with Twitch Prime. Folks asking about it being really warm in Boston today. Yeah, I mean, listen, so it was over 70 degrees in Boston today. It's January, okay? It should be like a high of 28. So I loved it in the sense that, you know, it's not really pleasant to walk around when it's 28. It's much more pleasant when it's 71. But something is very clearly wrong, is my instinct, and it's concerning and it's scary, and I think we're in trouble. Thanks to MiaMax231 for the $5 super chat. A lot of demands for vegan stuff in the chat. I'm not going to do any vegan stuff today, or maybe even any other day. It's not a big topic for my show, and it leads to a lot of people getting really angry. And it's just not, you know, we've got other topics that are central to my show. Dusty Dark Horse says, rest in peace, Rush drummer Neil Peart, or Neil Peart, as some pronounce it. It's very, very sad. Very sad. I did not actually know that Neil was sick. Rush is an absolutely fantastic band, and was very sad to hear the news. And a lot of people I am friends with on Facebook who are not drummers had posted things, and extremely sad. I mean, what else can you say? No, I'm not vegan. For people wondering what I mean, but I'm not doing vegan stuff on the show. I'm not vegan, but what I mean is I'm not doing like debates with vegans or whatever. There's lots of shows that do that, and we just don't really do it on the show. That's not it's not a big deal. Okay. I think we are about to open the phone lines because I think we are getting new member number 15. Actually, no, we're not. No, we're not. But listen, it seems we may be opening the phone lines soon. So I'm going to assume that we are going to get one more member at joinpacman.com and that we are going to open those phone lines. Just as a quick reminder, the coupon code of the day is 2020 now. At $60, I love it. At $20.20, it's a must-have. And that's what it becomes with the coupon code 2020 now. And we will get those phone lines opened if that indeed is the case. Prothing says, have you read about the protest in Tehran at the David Pakman Misspelled Show? I've read about the protests in Tehran, and I'm going to talk about them tomorrow. That it is very interesting what's going on there. Anomaly or anomaly, both pronunciations are valid. Trump is the Antichrist, and my boobs poop blood. That's odd. That's odd. And I would definitely seek medical attention there for sure, because that sounds problematic. Did I say Tehran? I meant to say Tehran. I might have gotten so confused by that voicemail, by that super chat, that I said it wrong. Tehran. So I also hear some people say Tehran, but I don't know that that's correct. Tehran. Yeah, that's the right pronunciation. Interviews. People asking about interviews this week on the show. We have some good interviews coming up. I will be interviewing. So there's this NYU professor, Roy Germano, who recently had some videos go viral where he hangs out with Hasidic Jews. And they're actually pretty interesting. And I invited him on, and he's going to be on this week. Let's just take a look at a little bit of what Roy Germano has been doing. And then I have a really great guest announcement for you.
The Hanukkah before?
Let's see here.
Or like a Hanukkah party?
They're just kind of endearing, interesting videos.
Hey, hello. Hi.
This is in Brooklyn, by the way, in Crown Heights, I believe. Everybody knows him because he's been doing videos with a rabbi in the community, and everybody seems to like him.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Come on inside. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays.
Hello.
Okay, anyway, so I'll be interviewing Roy Germano on the show, and then next week I will be interviewing the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. The Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, will be on the program next week, assuming it doesn't get rescheduled. The name of his channel is Roy Germano. He only has 4,900 subscribers, incredibly, but he's gotten a couple videos that have gone viral. So next week, I will be interviewing Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. Send in questions if you have questions for Jordan, and that will be super interesting. Okay, if you are just joining us and you are not currently a subscriber to the show on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. We're only 21 subscribers from 793,000. So please hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Please follow if you are watching over on Twitch. We're approaching 23,000 followers there. And we are going to get to the phones. Jill D. Myers has signed up and Brian Hanks has signed up, which gets us to 16 members. If we get to 20, I will do the stupid hair thing that some people want me to do. So let's get the phone line's going. The phone number is 617-830-4750. 617-830-4750. I'm going to get connected and dialed in right now. And then we will take a few phone calls and hear from some people, see what's on people's minds.
Thank you for calling into the David Pakman Show. Please do not use speakerphone. Have your question ready and listen for David to call out.
Also, thanks to Michaela McAllister. Michaela McAllister Appreciate your support as well. That gets us to 17, only 3 more, and we will get to the other goal of 20. All right. 617-830-4750 is the number. I will continue to give priority to super chats and messages with Prime memberships. Let's start with the 757 area code. Who's calling today from 757?
Hello, this is Malcolm from Virginia.
Hey, Malcolm, what's up?
Hey, I just want to give some props to your show. I've been watching for a very long time, since the Gamergate scandal years and years ago. And
Right.
It takes a lot of work to put on like a presentation like this and keep it up for so long. You've done a great job with that.
Thank you.
And one question I have for you is, do you see the Democrats winning and keeping their positions that they have right now in the Congress and the House and Senate? And do you see them getting the presidency as well?
Okay, so if you're saying what would I bet on today, I bet that
Yes.
Democrats extend the lead in the House, pick up a couple of seats but don't take the Senate, and that Donald Trump wins the presidency. Now, I know that when I say this, people will get angry at me and say I'm being defeatist. No, I'm not being defeatist. What I'm saying is, if you said today, January 12th, put money on it, that's what I put money on, but I don't actually bet. So instead what I do is I just work to try to get the outcome I want, if that makes sense. But that that's my sense of what I would put money on today. Although those are not my desired outcomes. Hello? Okay.
I kind of see the same thing, though.
Gotcha. All right, very good. Appreciate the phone call. Thank you so much. Looks like we have some kind of a strange delay going on. Let's go next to our caller from the 617 area code, possible local caller here in the Boston area.
Hey, David. This is Andrew calling from Jamaica Plain, Boston. How are you?
How are you?
Good. Nice to finally get a chance to speak to you in person. So this question has been on my mind actually since November. As you know, Kentucky gained a Democratic governor, and Louisiana kept a Democratic governor in 2 reliably red states. And last year, as you know, Massachusetts and Vermont kept their Republican governors, which are obviously 2 reliably blue states. And interestingly enough, in fact, I'm pretty sure that Charlie Baker had a wider gap than Jay Gonzalez, the Democratic challenger,
Yes.
than Warren had to her senator challenger deal. So my question is, why do blue states like Massachusetts and Vermont tend to elect Republican governors, while red states like Kentucky and Louisiana have a track record of electing Democratic governors?
I can speak less to the southern states you mentioned. I don't actually know the history of how frequently they elect Democratic governors. Here in Massachusetts, we've had a number of prominent Republican governors. We have Charlie Baker now. We had Mitt Romney, William Weld. We had there are others whose names escape me. There's a couple different explanations. One explanation that I've been told is that the Massachusetts voter is uber pragmatic and believes that a very left legislature but a Republican governor is a great way to make sure that nothing gets too out of control, but that big picture things keep moving left. It seems it's attributing a lot of agency to something that may not actually be deserving of it. I think a more likely explanation is that when you get, because it is such a blue state, you often have low voter turnout because people just assume in a lot of these special elections and gubernatorial ones that the Democrat's going to win. And so when you get a smart and proactive Republican that actually runs a good campaign, before you know it, Democrats who think that they have no shot are way behind and they can't catch up. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different explanations for it. It's probably different in every state.
Yeah. And FYI for like Louisiana, I was looking at it, and besides like Bobby Jindal, if you look at it, they had like 4 previous Democratic governors. So I just found that interesting, and so I just thought I'd get see if you had a perspective on it. But
it's a
yeah,
very
thank you.
interesting
I really
situation. Yeah, appreciate your call. Great to hear from you. Thank you so much. Let me say welcome to Brennan Klassen. Brennan Klassen is today's 18th member. Also, if I pronounced Michaela incorrectly, if it's Michaela, I sincerely apologize. I couldn't apologize more sincerely. Never mean to get anybody's name wrong. But I do appreciate your support. Over on YouTube via Super Chat, Joan Ignazi 91 says, should the United States ban political TV ads or limit the time candidates can start running their campaign to limit the massive campaign costs as many EU countries? Absolutely. It's part of the campaign finance reform ideas that I've presented many a time. Let me say thanks to The Chomar for subscribing with Twitch Prime over on Twitch. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's go next to our caller from the 563 area code. We are taking callers at 617-830-4750. Caller from 563, go ahead.
Hi, David.
Yes.
This is RRII. And I was wondering if you could either interview or do a show on, certainly more information, on Nina Turner. And also like to apologize for harassing you about your hair.
Okay, thank you very much. I will take both under consideration.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Let me say welcome to Joseph Collins as well as Joshua Martinez, new members number 19 and 20 of the evening. Okay, all right, so we're doing the hair thing. I don't even know if it'll happen. Let's just see here. It's very unpredictable, but this is now, people think I'm having an issue, that I'm disheveled and things are crazy. I have to go in the right direction here. It's actually not working that well, is it? Let me see here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's building up now. I just want to get it off the top of the screen. It actually looks like I have a skunk on my head now. This is getting a little crazy. Let me see. This might be all we can do today. There we go. I mean, that's something, right? Like this is not nothing. It is weird that it's just not happening as much. I think it might be something about the unusually warm day in Boston. Okay, let's leave it like that. Very good. Next caller from the 650 area code. Caller from 650.
Hi, David. It's Julie in California.
Hey, Julie.
I think that your hair has more admirers than Trump had at his inauguration.
It may be. It may be.
I wanted to just say, what is your opinion on the Goldwater rule, and how do you think it's affecting what's going on right now?
I actually don't know that it is affecting what's going on right now. I mean, what's your sense of it?
I read up on it, and I thought, I really thought that it was kind of like old, I don't want to say old hat, but it just kind of seemed like it's not really taking effect. But to be quite honest, I agree with what you're saying, that I think there's a very good chance, unfortunately, that he's going to get in again. And what troubles me, though, is that if he doesn't get in, like, let's say, he somehow, something happens and he does not get elected, I'm really worried that his supporters are going to just, it's going to be really scary. There's going to be a lot of upheaval and a lot of violence, and I could be very wrong on that, because I do feel, however, if we press him, I feel like he's like a trapped animal, like a cornered animal.
I agree, and I hope that you're wrong, but I fear that you're right. But for people who don't know the Goldwater rule is this idea, this psychiatric idea, that you should not evaluate someone or diagnose someone that you have not examined in person. And we've interviewed psychiatrists who say that was developed for a very specific reason at a very specific time. There is so much material of Donald Trump that mental health professionals can reasonably make assessments about at least what might be going on with him, and that the Goldwater rule is often cited reflexively by people who don't really understand it, merely to say everything's fine with Trump, and clearly not everything is fine, as it sounds like you're pointing out.
Right. Good. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the call. So nice to hear from you. Jane Woman Power sent a super chat that says, number 1, dishevel hair. Number 2, comb and tease. Number 3, hairspray from a part of Canada where your hair is too tame and not from Quebec. Okay. Well, it seems like a lot of things are going on there. Abhinav Sangasetti says, how do you call in? 617-830-4750 is the number. Thanks to Jessica Lara for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thanks to Zach666saurus, who says Bernie can win. And thanks to Daniel84, 6 months subscribed at Tier 1. I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's go next to our caller from the 517 area code. Who's calling today from 517?
It's Michaela. I think you pronounced it off earlier.
I eventually got it, Michaela, not Michaela. Michaela.
You did. It's cool. All right. I called her about my sentiment. Yeah. We recently had Illinois pass right to work, and I was wondering if that you think that'll affect any other states nearby, or if it's just a one-off.
Will it affect it in terms of the labor market, or will it affect it in terms of like kind of contagion and getting other states to vote for it as well?
I was thinking more like contagion, like the marijuana law started to do that, but I don't know if it'd be like a one-off or not.
No, I have not seen evidence that right to work spreads in that way. It seems like certain activists target certain states based, I don't think it's based on geography. It's based more on politics. So I don't think, I mean, there may be contagion, but it would be political contagion, not geographic.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate the phone call. Let's go next to our caller from, I guess it's country code 86. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Hello?
Yes. You're gonna want to turn me down in the background there.
Oh, yeah. You're turned down. I apologize. I had to pause and I'm watching live.
Right. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Cool Drop. It's Serge from China.
Oh, yeah. You've called the broadcast show before.
Yeah. It's been hard to get a hold of you lately because you switched to Twitch and everything. But hey, I'm here, man. I know you got a limited amount of time. First of all, I wanted to say that bullshit with. Ooh, dang, my bad. Oops.
No, you can swear. This isn't the broadcast show, so you can swear today. Yeah.
Oh, word. Okay, cool. That bullshit between you and that Rational National, Cal Kalinske. It was nonsense. It was
I have no idea what you're talking about. What happened with Rational National? What?
Oh, no. No, I apologize. I thought you had like a bit of beef with Cal Kalinske and Rational National taking your word, like your commentary about, dang, oops, I'm drawing a blank.
Well, whatever it is, if that's the case, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, but I haven't seen anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, never mind. I'm going to skip that. Me personally, I just want to say that you always come with a very rational take on everything that you present to the audience and to people abroad. I've never listened to anything that you said and thought, oh, he's taking a cowardly way out. Oh my God, why isn't he endorsing Bernie? You're a commentator, like you get straight to the point. But besides that, I want to get to why I think that Bernie Sanders, if he really wants to win, if he really wants to solidify the African American vote in the states, he needs to focus on things like Flint. The water crisis in Flint, I've heard very little come out of most of the Democratic candidates' mouths about how to solve it, what they will do to fix that. Our children are being poisoned. Our kids will have lifelong effects. And also, poor whites. Poor whites live there. If you want to solidify the working man's vote, talk about that. There's places in Louisiana who are suffering from a water crisis, poison water due to fracking. Places in Florida who are facing water crises. And like, I really wish that more and more of the top Democratic candidates like Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, even Andrew Yang, speak about it, talk about it. People are being affected about this. If you want those votes, talk about that. I would definitely vote for the first person to say, day one, I will fix Flint. I would send the Army Corps of Engineers to fix Flint.
I like it. I think you're making a very good
Tell
point.
me.
And if the idea is that Democrats are not properly appealing to rural and Midwestern so-called flyover states, which is a pejorative term, but I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, let's find some ways to do it that align with our values.
Yes. And the value is you don't want your kids to be mentally disabled for the rest of their lives, or you want your government, if they see that issue, to take care of it, to promise those children that you will be taking, to promise those families you will be taken care of.
Hey, listen, what's going on in China these days? How is your proficiency in Mandarin, and like what's going on?
Well, my proficiency is pretty low. I can get around. Living here for a while, I'm gonna focus on what you asked, but living here for a while, I definitely sympathize with any migrant worker, anybody of first generation that come to America and struggle with learning English. I've already had sympathy, but it grew further living here in China. But what's going on in China mainland? I live in Wuhan, and mainland China, they get the news. They ask me questions when I'm in the taxi, and I ask as best as possible. They know about Iran. They know about the taxi drivers are very political here in Wuhan. They will ask you a question in a heartbeat, like, "Hey, what?" Yeah. A friend of mine, I wish I can get my friend Brian was here. He's very proficient in Chinese. He can tell you all kinds of things that they talk about.
And when you say Chinese, it's Mandarin that's spoken?
Yes, Mandarin. I'm speaking to Mandarin. Hong Kong, they're the ones that normally speak Cantonese.
Right.
I
don't want to interrupt you, but I know last time you called it was super interesting. You mentioned, if I recall last time, that you're a Black American man. Are there many in China or is that also something that attracts attention when you're walking around?
Attract attention because they have very little contact with people of color. Right. However, it's not negative attention. It's like, get out of here, but they're very curious people, very nice, it's like innocent ignorance. And I would put it that way. They're just curious. And there's plenty of Afro men here, and Wuhan especially, it's an education hub.
Interesting.
And I meet people from all over the world here. I love this city because I can talk. I have a close friend who's Syrian who likes to discuss the conflict that's going on in his country. I have a friend from Zambia. I'm dating a girl from Seychelles.
Really? That's interesting. So it seems that you wouldn't likely get into a dating situation with somebody who only speaks Mandarin, I'm guessing, since that would be effectively impossible.
Actually, I was in a relationship with a woman who spoke mostly Mandarin, and
really?
It wasn't impossible, but I learned a lot of Chinese, a lot of Mandarin while in the relationship.
Fascinating. And how's the food? The food's all good? You're enjoying the food, the cuisine?
Huh? Oh, I love Chinese food here. Right. I mean, my bad. I love the local food here. I apologize, just for the audience, but it's completely different from what we get in the States normally. Like PF Chang's ain't got shit on Wuhan. I'll tell you that much.
I would assume not.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're getting garbage in the States. Well, we already know that, but I would wish that we can get more authentic Chinese cuisine back home. Rug on me in. If anybody's listening, tell David Pakman about it. I'm trying to tell him now. Hey, where you live again?
Rugged Men?
David,
did you say
California,
rugged?
Right?
Hold on. What was that? You said rugged men?
Oh, rug on me in. And I apologize for my pronunciation. I have terrible.
No, I apologize for mine.
Rug on me in.
Rug on me in. Okay.
It's hot, translates to hot dry noodles. It's one of the most celebrated cuisines in Wuhan. Everyone loves it. It is pretty much noodles saturated in sesame seed sauce.
Okay.
And they add herbs and spices. It's delicious. If you get a chance to try it, if you're a noodle guy, I suggest it.
Fascinating. My last Chinese food experience was in the Hasidic London suburb of Hendon on Christmas Day, one of the few places where I was able to get a reservation with some friends. And I don't recommend kosher Chinese food. Let me put that right out on the table immediately.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
That sounds absolutely horrible. Like, you got to get that nitty gritty Chinese food where they don't wash their hands and they just cross-contaminating everything. That's how you know it's authentic.
Sure. No, I look forward to that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool Drop.
It's
Always
nice to
great
have
to hear
a
from you.
conversation with you, but thanks.
Okay. Very good. Yeah. Hope to hear from you again.
Yeah. If you have any more questions, I hope to be able to call in and have another convo, man. Thank you again, and I'll be, watching.
Absolutely. And stop changing your number so that it'll come up properly on caller ID. Okay.
Oh, I didn't change it.
Oh, you didn't? That's weird. Oh,
I
caller
still
ID
have your
didn't pick
number.
it up. Very strange. All right. Well, we will call someone in security services over there, and I'm sure they will get it all straightened up.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, Cool Drop. Great to hear from Cool. Cool Drop's a good guy. Always love to hear from Cool Drop. All right, it's gotten late, and I've got to go to bed because we've got a whole new show tomorrow. Thanks to everybody who joined me. We will have next stream, pre-debate stream on YouTube Tuesday night, then debate stream over on Twitch. Follow, subscribe, all these different things, and no anti-Semitic messages in